It's officially Madden 25 reveal day, but it's a little bit different than normal because we didn't get a reveal trailer, which is kind of odd. I'm guessing that's coming next week, but we did get a ton of information from EA Sports from the blog that they posted on their website, and we also have some screenshots to look at. So the footage you see in the background is going to be Madden 24 gameplay because we don't have a new trailer to look at yet. But there's a ton of great info to go over, which we're going to break down from gameplay to franchise to superstar mode, and we're even getting things like team builder back in the game, which is great to hear. Now, if you're new to the channel and you want to stay up to date with not only the Madden 25 info, but also the college football 25 info, make sure to subscribe and turn the bell icon on because there's a ton of deep dives and gameplay coming for both games throughout this month. Trying to get to 600k subs before the release of the game, so if everybody watching just subscribed, we could literally hit that number in a few days. So let's get right into the blog with all of the information. Keep in mind though that this isn't going to go super deep on every little thing because they're going to save that for the deep dives. Today we're getting kind of just the basic information, but it all looks pretty good. It says, welcome to Gridiron Notes, your home for news and updates for Madden NFL 25. Our team will be sharing information all summer long as we gear up for the worldwide launch on August 17th. The topics you can expect to see in the future deep dives are topics like gameplay, franchise, presentation, superstar, and ultimate team. Today we're covering the high-level features in Madden NFL 25. Before we get into the specifics, our team wanted to share the vision for the game this year. Bottom line, the goal for Madden NFL 25 is to look, feel, and sound different. From the first time you fire up at the press start screen, to the menus, to the new commentary, and inside the game, from the NFL draft all the way to the Super Bowl trophy presentation, this was the commitment from the team. We can't wait to share more with you in future deep dives coming later this summer. So let's start with the gameplay. It says, here at our Tiburon studio, we know what's most important to players, and that's a deep, authentic experience delivering control on the sticks. With this year's feature set, which includes physics-based tackling powered by Boom Tech, signature styles, new mechanics with ball carriers, catching and pre-play, and the focus on football fundamentals with blocking, playbooks, and more, players will have more control than ever before in Madden NFL 25. Now, I did get to play the game down at EA a few weeks ago, and I'll have a separate video kind of detailing that, but some of the stuff to know here is they definitely improved upon the tackling and the collisions a lot. I know they talk about physics every few years that they're redoing it, but it is something that they do redo every few years to try to make it better, and it's noticeably better in this game. But something else that is actually maybe small to some people but big to me are the signature styles, which you'll come to see later on. A lot more signature running styles and things like that are finally in the game, so players look more like themselves, which is definitely a big plus. So let's talk about Boom Tech. It says in Madden 23, the team introduced the Field Sense animation branching system to deliver on control rather than outcomes that feel more scripted or predetermined. This year in Madden 25, that vision is being accelerated with the introduction of Boom Tech, our next gameplay innovation that has been over 2 years in the making. Now, of course, all of this stuff is PS5, Xbox Series X/S, and PC, of course. None of this stuff's going to be on last gen. Last gen is just a roster update. They're pretty much only developing mostly for the current gen systems at this point. So let's talk about the physics-based tackling. It says, feel realistic control with every tackle so you can cut loose and attack the ball with powerful hit sticks, cut sticks, trucks, dives, and stiff arms. The new data-driven physics system considers timing, momentum, weight, speed, strength, and player ratings to inform one-on-one ball carrier impact and determine the branching animation to a wider variety of explosive and authentic physical outcomes while keeping players in full control. Reloaded hit stick. The one, the only, the legendary hit stick has been refreshed, reloaded, and reimagined to celebrate 20 years as a Madden NFL feature. Bring power in every phase of the game with a timing-based mechanic that provides harder hitting control determined by angle of impact, stick skill, and accuracy for cut sticks, big hits, and trucks with more realistic physical movements and results. Get immediate on-field feedback with visual indicators, new crunching tackle sound effects, and controller rumble haptics where applicable. Ball carrier control. Run the rock with confidence and command. A new ball carrier balance and recovery system determines a specific Boom Tech branching animation based on the quality of the hit and the ratings of the players involved. Get the control you need to encounter the hit stick, break the tackle, and recover your balance. So all of that stuff right there, really one of them things you'll get to feel more when you get to play the game, but definitely a noticeable difference this year. It feels smoother than ever. And look, I'm gonna be honest, I think Madden's gameplay the last couple of years has noticeably gotten better. I know some people still say it's trash, it's garbage. I just simply don't agree anymore. I think there was a time where the game was way too scripted. There was definitely a time where things were janky and more warping. And look, there's still obviously always gonna be areas that can get better, but Madden 24 to me did not have bad gameplay. You're noticing the game get smoother. You're noticing physics physics have more of an impact on the game. You're noticing animations that look better when they play out instead of always looking forced, and they've just kind of upped that once again this year, and when you get to play the game, you'll see what I'm talking about. Foundational football. Core gameplay is back with the newest iteration of FieldSense. Get increased control across key areas including innovative passing, catching, blocking, and coverages, along with advanced ball carrier mechanics for more dynamic and realistic playmaking. New playbooks capture the game's most innovative and explosive plays to align with today's NFL playstyles for a wider variety of viable game plans and more strategy in all three phases. Authentic pre-snap and post-play animations deliver a whole new level of authenticity and immersion, while all new intelligent ball carrier mechanics provide explosive movement and more control between downs. We can't wait to deep dive into gameplay next to expand on all the upgrades, so it sounds like the next deep dive we get within like maybe a week or two is going to be the gameplay deep dive, which is always the most important one. And when they talk about these different areas like passing, catching, and blocking, they added over 1,000 new animations to the game. I know that specifically. There's like 500 blocking animations, like 700 new catching animations, so you're going to see those things play out where you're seeing new things that you didn't see before. And in terms of the playbooks, I'm not going to spoil that yet because I don't know if I'm allowed to speak about things that they haven't specifically referenced yet, but you'll see when it comes time for the playbooks. They definitely did their thing and added some stuff that you saw last year in the NFL that you would like to see in the game. It's going to be in the game this year. Earlier, we mentioned the team's focus on ensuring that Madden 25 looks, feels, and sounds different. This will be clear from the press start screen all the way to the Super Bowl celebration. The delivery of these new features comes down to one huge team focus: immersion. Dive deeper than ever into the NFL game day experience with an immersive feature set that brings players closer to the NFL action than ever before across game modes. From realistic franchise changes to 2 brand new commentary crews, you'll feel so close to the gridiron you can almost smell the all-new 3D turf. Now, we kind of got a peek at the 3D turf with the college football trailers, and of course it looks great. Glad it's in Madden as well. Any type of visual upgrade, I'm always here for it. Let's have the games looking as good as possible. Now let's jump into the franchise overview. Now again, they're going to dive much deeper on this in some coming weeks, and they're going to talk about all the small things that they're not mentioning here because this is more just big bullet points. So these are the big things for franchise. There's still a ton of other little things under the hood that you'll come to learn soon, but let's talk about the big things here. And it says NFL Draft Night and franchise is more authentic than ever with a rebuilt environment, fresh player fits, iconic moments, a draft prospect board that is easier to navigate, and real-time draft grades. See inside team war rooms and green rooms as the night progresses, then meet Roger Goodell on a new NFL draft stage in a fret fit that suits you. So they finally revamped the NFL draft, which has been absolutely dead in previous games. So now you'll see the players take their pictures with Goodell inside the war room. You'll get actual draft grades, which I think is cool. And it even says here that you can navigate the draft board easier, which I think means you can now filter by certain things, which for whatever reason you couldn't do in some of these previous Madden. So it sounds like that's changed now as well, which is cool. Moving on here, it says manage personalities through dynamic storylines in team meeting rooms, coaches' offices, press conferences, and practice sidelines. This is something I don't think I'm allowed to dive too deep in now, but this is something I think is going to be the most exciting thing for franchise. When they do the deep dive, they'll dive much deeper into this, but this is the thing that is going to bring life to franchise, because that's one of the things that franchise is missing is life. And then when they dive deeper on this, you'll see more of what I'm talking about, but I don't think I can dive into that yet today. Moving on here, it says Franchise Central provides simplified league creation tools and delivers more important information at your fingertips, including personal messages and top stories that make your franchise experience feel more like the NFL in every moment. That's, again, more life to the mode is what we need. Continuing here, it says core depth improvements feature team and rookie records, improved team roster AI for free agency and draft selections, new draft stories and generators, refined player progression logic focused on younger and older players, revamped news content focused on important games every week, and female models in Create a Coach for the first time, as well as a fresh Super Bowl celebration experience. Tuning and progression across multiple franchise systems has been altered to ensure teams are smarter, reflecting real NFL strategy. Crossplay and franchise will launch in Madden 25 after a successful beta via a live service update. So all of those things right there, those are just smaller kind of tuning and just little quality of life changes. One of those things you kind of have to see before you really know how much of an impact it's going to have, but But the one that I'm really excited is that they're finally bringing back the team and rookie records that you can break. That was something that was so great about the PS2 Maddens whenever you would break a rookie or team record. Glad that they're acknowledging those again, giving the mode more life. But the big one is right here. Team Builder. They put Team Builder in the game. Not just create a team, they're giving us Team Builder that's in college football. We're getting that for Madden. It says, for our franchise fans, we heard the desire for more customization. Introducing Team Builder. Design your team using the customization tools available on the Team Builder website. Upload your own logos and personalize your team uniforms, helmets, and field. Once created, import your team into your franchise and dominate for Super Bowl glory. Share your creations or explore the download center for other teams created by the community. Stay tuned for more information about Team Builder coming later this summer. Now, this all sounds good so far, but they're not done yet. They're really cooking this year. And while we just went over franchise, the next stuff we're about to go over, in my opinion, is also kind of for franchise as well. Even though it's for the entire game, this is still going to hit harder with franchise players, and that's going to be things like presentation and commentary. So let's talk about the presentation overview. It says the sights and sounds of football take a leap into the next era on PS5, Xbox Series X/S, and PC that look, feel, and sound different at every level. New broadcast teams and commentary add the most immersive audio experience in the history of the game. We've added crowd audio sourced from the 2023 NFL season's Monday Night Football games and NFL films, so it doesn't just feel like realistic crowd noise, it is real crowd noise. On-field sound effects have been increased and refreshed, pad collisions, grunts, exertions, etc., to now include over 500 samples. And it also mentions here that there is a new score bug at the bottom of the screen. So again, similar to college football, they're going with a more realistic look. They're finally putting the scoreboard at the bottom of the screen where it should be, and might I say, it's probably the best looking scoreboard we've seen in a long time in a Madden game. It looks like a more realistic, real life scoreboard, which I think people are going to appreciate. And it doesn't really go too in depth here, in my opinion, presentation wise. The stuff I saw when I was at EA, I think you're going to like when they do the deep dives later, because just from an audio standpoint all around, it sounds so much more like a real NFL broadcast, just from the music they use, from how the commentary and the crowds are now. The game for sure finally feels really alive, and it feels more like an NFL simulation rather than whatever Madden was going for in these past 5 or 6 years, where there's like NFL presentation and then there's Madden presentation, and there's definitely a difference, and they're reverting back and going more to that true NFL style presentation that we had in older Madden games, and I think that's really going to be a big deal for a lot of people. Commentary teams. Play-by-play never sounded so good. 2 new teams joined the booth to accompany Brandon Gaudin and Charles Davis for the first time in 8 years. Mike Tirico and former NFL tight end Greg Olsen are paired up, along with Kate Scott and former NFL QB Brock Heward. These new teams are here to refresh your Madden NFL experience and bring it to life with over 42,000 fresh recordings at launch, with multiple in-season updates to keep it fresh. So finally, we got not only new announcers, but multiple new announce crews, and we still have the old crew if you want to listen to them, but I don't think a lot of the hardcore players are going to want to do that. They're going to want to hear the new ones, so now you can rotate them, and they had some good choices here. I mean, Mike Tirico and Greg Olsen, that's kind of a knockout of the park there. I mean, those are 2 of the best right now doing it. And I know Kate Scott, she's, I think, a little bit more on the come up right now. I got to hear some of the stuff she was doing live when I was at EA. She was still recording some stuff for the game. She sounded great in game. I think she does a lot of stuff with Philly sports, so she's definitely, I think, a good person to have in the game. And then you got Brock Heward, of course. So I think it's gonna finally have that refresh that we've been wanting. And again, for franchise mode, this is going to really bring that to life more than anything else, because the people that go hard in franchise year after year, building up their teams, commentary gets stale there very quickly for franchise mode players, so now that shouldn't be an issue. Superstar mode. Show the world what you're made of with updates to this action-packed, unique, player-driven mode. Customize your avatar with new archetypes, faces, hair, tattoos, and more. Utilize new combine drills to grow your avatar, then dominate the league, show off in Showdown, and collect rewards in year-round live events and dynamic seasonal experiences, all while progressing your superstar to legendary status. Experience what it takes to become a superstar by completing the new Superstar Quest system. Prove to the media, coach, and teammates that you have what it takes to reach superstar status. New upgrades to the player grading feature track even more on-field actions and accomplishments. Completely revamped progression curves help you feel like a rookie coming out of the combine and playing as a seasoned veteran. Update your player abilities to match your archetype, and even upgrade your teammates with team abilities. These abilities affect and help your team progress as you upgrade your character through the journey to superstardom. Finally, you can transition your Road to Glory character from College Football 25 into Superstar mode. Take your college football character all the way to the NFL draft and to Super Bowl MVP. So again, we'll learn a little bit more about this when they do the deep dive, but the stuff I saw for Superstar, some of it I was pretty interested in. They're finally bringing back more customization. They have a lot of different hair, a lot of different face styles now. They've really upgraded a lot of that stuff this year, trying to make the customization where it should be, and I think they could even still do way more than they're doing, just to be honest. But, you know, they're bringing tattoos back finally, so you can really customize your players, which is really the biggest thing with this mode, in my opinion, or one of the biggest things. If you can't fully customize your player, that kind of takes a lot of people out of it. So it's good that they're doing that. I believe the combine is going to actually matter more now, and they've added some more to that, which looks good. And with Road to Glory being back, I mean, that's going to be a good transition. I think a lot of people, once they kind of get more info on both modes when the deep dives come out, I think people are going to be pretty happy with what they've done with both modes this year. And that's not all. We still got more here. It says online head-to-head. Now, this is something that doesn't get a lot of updates, meaning regular team head-to-head. It says, climb redesigned leaderboards by playing competitive seasons and mastering the new rank structure in head-to-head divisions. Progress through divisions to gauge success. Only the best of the best will qualify for the new elite top 100 division. Experience improved online games through enhancements to Madden NFL 25 matchmaking system. Based on an extensive data research into what kinds of matchups players enjoy the most, several new factors will be considered when matching opponents, including your current division and playstyle. Now, that's very interesting here. Now, we know leaderboards in Madden for both regs and even in Ultimate Team for years they've been bad. They're not like they were back in the day where your wins mattered. It favored just number of games way too heavily. But what's really interesting here to me is matching up opponents by play style. Now, I don't know how intuitive this is going to be, but I'm just curious to see how this plays out, because if this is a system where it can be smart enough to say, hey, this type of player plays this way, he doesn't maybe try to cheese the game a lot, or he doesn't run just the same formation all game, maybe they're going to try to match you up with players that call a wider variety of plays, for example, and give you the experience you want. And if that's the case, that would be an absolutely amazing feature, because that way you can actually play online and more times than not maybe get the type of opponent that you enjoy playing against, instead of playing against somebody that's going to make you want to quit the game in the first quarter. So really interesting to see how that plays out. There's obviously some Ultimate Team stuff here. I know my audience is not really an Ultimate Team audience, but the one major thing for Ultimate Team is they're definitely doing a kind of a new ranking system there as well that I think is going to be a little different than the online head-to-head, but they're kind of trying to drive home the, you know, playing games mattering and how you rank up matters, which I think is very important in an online setting. So happy to hear that. Hopefully it all works out and there's no crazy bugs with it. So yeah, that was a lot of info to go over. Like I said, we're going to get the deep dives on all of this coming up within the next month. So definitely stay tuned and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any of this info. Hopefully we get the trailer next week. But for day one reveal here, tell me how you're feeling below. I'm loving all the info. It sounds like they're upgrading the areas of the game that desperately needed it the most. Presentation, commentary, a few things that were missing in franchise mode, customization, and just, you know, making the gameplay better and building on that. So I think so far I've liked what I've heard. Let me know below. And if you want to know the latest news on college football 25, make sure to check out this video right here on the screen.